Everything you desire is already yours. The love you seek, the connection you crave, it is not something to be chased, but something to be realized. The key to attracting your dream relationship lies not in looking outward, but in shifting inward. What you hold in your imagination, what you believe to be true within, will inevitably shape your external reality. So, if you desire a deep, loving relationship, the question is not how to find it, but how to become the version of yourself that already has it. The foundation of manifestation is assumption. Begin to see yourself as someone who is already deeply loved and cherished. Feel what it would be like to be in a fulfilling relationship and carry that feeling with you. Most people approach love as something outside of themselves, something they must search for, chase, or hope to find. They believe that love is a matter of luck, circumstance, or the right timing. But the truth is, love is not something you find, it is something you align with. If you want to attract a dream relationship, you must first understand that your external reality is a reflection of your inner state. The way you see yourself in relation to love is exactly what will be mirrored back to you. If you constantly think of yourself as someone who is unloved, unlucky in relationships, or undeserving of deep connection, then that belief becomes your reality. The mind is a powerful creator. It does not distinguish between what is real and what is imagined. It simply accepts what you impress upon it as truth, and then rearranges circumstances to match that truth. This is why the first and most critical step in attracting a dream relationship is to see yourself as already loved. Begin by shifting your internal self-concept. How do you think about yourself in relation to love? Do you see yourself as someone who is always waiting for love to come? Or do you see yourself as someone who is naturally desired, cherished, and valued? If your current belief system is rooted in scarcity or lack, it must be replaced. You must develop a new mental blueprint, one where you are the embodiment of love, where being in a beautiful relationship is your natural state. One of the most powerful ways to do this is through mental rehearsal. Close your eyes and imagine yourself in the ideal relationship. Don't just visualize it as a distant dream. Experience it as if it is happening right now. Picture your partner looking at you with admiration. Feel the warmth of their embrace, the joy of their presence. Hear the words they say to you, words of appreciation, love, and devotion. Let the feelings of love, security, and happiness wash over you. The more real you make this scene in your mind, the more deeply it impresses upon your subconscious, and the more your external reality will begin to reflect it. Another powerful technique is self-talk. Throughout your day, observe the way you speak to yourself about love. If your inner dialogue is filled with thoughts like, "Why is love so hard for me?" or "I always get hurt in relationships," then you are reinforcing a reality where love remains difficult. Instead, consciously shift your internal conversations. Begin affirming, "I am deeply loved. I am valued. My presence is magnetic. My dream partner is already on their way to me." These statements may feel unnatural at first, but repetition is key. Over time, they will become embedded in your subconscious, and your outer world will shift accordingly. Your emotions are also a crucial part of this process. Many people believe that they will feel loved and happy once they find their ideal partner, but this is the wrong order of creation. You must first generate the feeling of being loved within yourself, and then the external relationship will manifest. Start cultivating the emotions you would feel if your dream relationship were already a reality, and feel grateful for the love that is already present in your life, whether it comes from family, friends, or even yourself. Act as though you were already in a loving relationship. Move through your day with confidence, knowing that love is inevitable for you. The way you carry yourself also plays a role in this transformation. If you want to be treated as someone worthy of love, start acting like it. Take care of yourself, not to attract someone else, but because you already know you are valuable. Dress in a way that makes you feel confident. Engage in activities that bring you joy, and treat yourself with kindness and respect. When you radiate self-love, the world reflects that love back to you. Understand that the moment you shift your perception of yourself, your external world begins to change. People will start treating you differently. Opportunities for love will arise effortlessly, and your dream relationship will come into your life in ways you could never have predicted. But it all begins with the decision to see yourself as already loved. If your past experiences have shaped limiting beliefs about love, such as love is hard to find or all relationships failed, these must be rewritten. The subconscious mind reflects back to you what you accept as truth. Begin affirming that love is abundant, easy, and inevitable for you. From an early age, people absorb beliefs about love from their families, society, and personal experiences. Some people grow up seeing examples of healthy, loving relationships, while others witness dysfunction, heartbreak, or emotional distance. These early impressions shape the way people view love, often without them realizing it. If someone has been exposed to relationships filled with conflict, betrayal, or loss, they might unconsciously accept the idea that love is painful or unreliable. They might develop the belief that relationships always end badly, or that they are not meant to experience deep and lasting love. These beliefs become embedded in the subconscious mind, and because the subconscious mind governs external reality, those beliefs become self-fulfilling prophecies. When someone believes that love is difficult, or that they are destined for heartbreak, they unknowingly project that expectation into their reality. They might attract partners who are emotionally unavailable, or repeat the same painful patterns in relationships. This is not because love is inherently difficult, but because the inner world is shaping the outer world. The good news is that these limiting beliefs can be rewritten, and by doing so, a person can completely transform their experience of love. The first step in reprogramming beliefs about love is to become aware of them. Pay close attention to the thoughts that come up when you think about relationships. Do you feel hopeful and excited about love? Or do you feel fear, doubt, and insecurity? Do you believe that love is meant for you? Or do you secretly worry that you will always struggle to find it? Every belief that does not support the vision of a fulfilling, joyful relationship must be challenged and replaced. One of the most effective ways to do this is through repetition. The subconscious mind is programmed through consistent thought patterns. If you have spent years believing that love is difficult, then that belief has been reinforced through repeated thoughts and emotions. To change it, you must introduce new, empowering beliefs and reinforce them until they become your new reality. Start affirming daily. Love flows to me effortlessly. I am worthy of deep and lasting love. My dream relationship is already mine. Say these affirmations with conviction, and more importantly, feel them as true. When you repeat these statements consistently, they begin to override old limiting beliefs, and your external world will begin to reflect the new ones. So, take us with you, going from Burnside to new places. Another powerful technique is visualization. Imagine yourself in a reality where love comes easily to you. See yourself in a fulfilling relationship where you feel completely valued and adored. Picture your partner treating you with kindness, respect, and deep affection. Feel what it's like to be in that reality. The subconscious mind does not distinguish between real and imagined experiences. It only accepts what is repeatedly impressed upon it. The more vividly you imagine this new reality, the more powerfully it imprints on your subconscious and manifests in your physical world. It is also important to let go of past emotional baggage. Many people hold on to painful experiences from past relationships, allowing them to define what love will be like in the future. If you have been hurt before, acknowledge the pain, but do not let it dictate your beliefs about love. Every moment is a fresh opportunity to create a new experience. Let go of resentment. Forgive yourself and others, and decide that your future will be different. The past does not determine your future unless you allow it to. Your words and actions must align with your new beliefs. If you say that you believe love is abundant, but then engage in self-sabotaging behaviors, such as settling for less than you deserve, or entertaining relationships that do not align with your desires, you are sending mixed signals to the universe. Instead, act as if you already have the love you desire. Set high standards for how you allow yourself to be treated, and do not entertain anything that contradicts your new belief in abundant, effortless love. When you truly reprogram your subconscious mind to accept love as something natural, inevitable, and fulfilling, your external reality will shift to match that belief. The people you attract, the opportunities that arise, and the way relationships unfold in your life will all transform. Love is not something you have to struggle for. It is something you allow in by aligning your beliefs with the truth that it is already yours. The biggest mistake people make is obsessing over when their dream relationship will come or how it will happen. Release control and trust that the unseen forces are orchestrating everything perfectly. Your job is to feel it as real now. Most people live in a state of waiting. They look at their current circumstances and see the absence of the relationship they desire. They focus on the fact that they are still single, that they haven't met the right person, or that things haven't worked out the way they expected. This state of waiting creates resistance because it reinforces the idea that love is something distant, something that is not here yet. The more they focus on the absence of love, the more they create that very absence in their lives. The mind naturally seeks control. It wants to figure out the exact path, the exact sequence of events that will lead to love. It tries to calculate when and where it will happen, how the right person will appear, and what steps need to be taken. But this very act of trying to control the process creates delay. The desire to know how and when is rooted in doubt. It is an unconscious admission that one does not truly believe it is already done. When you trust something completely, you do not obsess over its arrival. You do not constantly check or worry about it. You simply know it is unfolding in perfect timing. The way to overcome this need for control is to shift into a state of trust. Trust that the unseen forces of reality are working in your favor. Trust that the perfect circumstances are being arranged behind the scenes. Trust that everything is aligning exactly as it should. This trust is not passive. It is an active decision to let go of worry and surrender to the flow of life. When you letting go does not mean doing nothing. It means embodying the reality of already having what you desire. It means waking up each day and feeling as though you are already in the relationship of your dreams. Instead of focusing on the absence, focus on the presence of love within you. Feel gratitude as if your ideal partner is already in your life. When you truly embody this state, the external world must reflect it back to you. Time is an illusion when it comes to manifestation. The only thing that matters is the present moment, because the present is where reality is shaped. If you spend every present moment feeling like love is far away, then it will always remain far away. But if you start living as if love is already here, you collapse the delay between desire and fulfillment. The universe does not respond to begging, hoping, or waiting. It responds to certainty. So when you are certain that love is yours, it must materialize in your reality. Doubt and impatience are the biggest obstacles in this process. When people do not see immediate results, they begin to question whether it is working. They look for signs, they seek reassurance, and they start to waver in their belief. This wavering creates a back and forth effect, where the manifestation is constantly delayed. Imagine planting a seed and then digging it up every day to check if it is growing. A soil planted, always doubt. That is what doubt does. It disrupts the natural process. The key is to plant the seed of your desire, water it with belief, and trust that it will bloom in perfect time. People often think they need to do more to attract love, but the truth is they need to be more. They need to be more aligned with love, more trusting, more open, and more certain that what they want is already theirs. Action is not the first step. Alignment is. When you are truly aligned with the energy of love, inspired action will follow effortlessly. You will find yourself in the right places, meeting the right people, and experiencing synchronicities that bring your desires to life. The moment you release attachment to how and when your dream relationship will arrive, you free yourself from resistance. You step into a state of ease where love can flow naturally into your life. The more you let go, the faster it comes. Your only job is to believe, feel, and trust that it is already done. You cannot attract love while living in a state of lack or desperation. Embody the qualities of the love you desire. If you seek kindness, be kind. If you want deep emotional connection, cultivate self-awareness and vulnerability. The outer world reflects your inner state. Many people make the mistake of believing that love is something external that will complete them. They feel an emptiness inside and believe that a relationship will fill that void. They long for a partner to give them the love, attention, and validation they crave. But in doing so, they send out an energy of neediness and lack. They tell the universe through their thoughts and emotions that they do not have love, that they are incomplete without it. This state of being repels the very thing they desire. Love is not something that is given to you. It is something that flows through you. If you want a relationship that is filled with love, respect, and deep emotional connection, then you must first embody those qualities within yourself. The universe is always mirroring back to you what you are. If you feel empty and desperate for love, you will attract relationships that reflect that emptiness. Partners who are emotionally unavailable, fleeting connections that never last, or situations that leave you feeling even more alone. But when you become the source of love in your own life, you shift the energy entirely. You begin to radiate the very love you desire, and in doing so, you naturally attract a relationship that aligns with that energy. The first step to embodying love is to treat yourself the way you would want a partner to treat you. If you desire kindness, compassion, and respect, start by giving those things to yourself. Speak to yourself with love. Take care of your mind and body. Do things that bring you joy, not because you are waiting for a partner to do them with you, but because you deserve that joy right now. When you truly love and value yourself, you send out a powerful signal to the universe that says, I am worthy of deep and fulfilling love. That signal is what attracts a partner who will reflect that same love back to you. Another important aspect of embodying love is understanding that relationships are not about getting something from another person, but about sharing what you already have. Many people enter relationships hoping that their partner will fill a void, make them feel special, or bring them happiness. But true love is not about taking, it is about giving. It is about two whole individuals coming together, not to complete each other, but to enhance each other's lives. And so, when you cultivate a sense of wholeness within yourself, you naturally attract someone who is also whole, someone who will meet you at the level of love you have already created within. Embodying love also means raising your standards. When you truly value yourself, you no longer entertain relationships that do not align with your highest good. You do not settle for breadcrumbs of affection or tolerate toxic dynamics. You trust that what you desire is on its way, and you do not compromise out of fear or impatience. Many people accept less than they deserve because they believe love is scarce. But this belief only creates more scarcity. When you know that love is abundant and inevitable for you, you naturally hold yourself to a higher standard, and the universe responds accordingly. Your actions should also align with the love you want to attract. If you want a relationship built on trust and honesty, then be honest in your own interactions. If you desire deep emotional intimacy, then cultivate emotional depth within yourself. If you want a relationship filled with passion and excitement, then live a life that excites you. The energy you put out into the world determines what you receive in return. Ultimately, you are the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with. One of the most powerful shifts you can make is moving from a mindset of needing love to simply being love. Instead of waiting for someone else to bring love into your life, start embodying it in every moment. Love is not just something that exists within romantic relationships. It is everywhere. It is in the way you treat others, in the kindness you show to strangers, in the gratitude you feel for the present moment. The more you focus on embodying love, the more it flows effortlessly into your life. The universe cannot help but respond to the energy you radiate. Every night before sleeping, visualize your ideal relationship as if it's already happening. See yourself holding hands, sharing laughter, feeling deep connection. The more vividly you experience it in imagination, the more powerfully it shapes your reality. The subconscious mind is most impressionable right before sleep. In this relaxed state, the conscious mind, which usually filters and doubts new ideas, begins to fade, allowing direct access to the deeper layers of the subconscious. This is why the thoughts and emotions you dwell on before drifting off to sleep are so important. They set the tone for what your mind will continue processing throughout the night, and eventually what you will manifest in your waking life. If you go to bed feeling lonely, thinking about the absence of love, or replaying painful memories from past relationships, you are reinforcing those experiences as your reality. But if you use this time to imagine and feel the love you desire, your subconscious mind will accept it as truth and begin arranging circumstances to bring it into your life. Visualization is not just about seeing an image in your mind. It is about experiencing it with all your senses. Close your eyes and picture yourself in your dream relationship. See the person beside you. Feel their presence. Hear their voice. Imagine walking together, sharing moments of laughter and deep conversation. Feel their hand in yours, the warmth of their embrace, the love in their gaze. The more vivid and real you make this scene, the more deeply it imprints on your subconscious mind. The key is to not just watch the scene as an outsider, but to step into it fully, experiencing it as if it is happening now. Emotion is the fuel that brings visualization to life. Simply seeing an image in your mind is not enough. You must feel it as real. Let yourself experience the joy, love, and security of being in this ideal relationship. Feel the excitement of waking up next to your partner, the peace of knowing you are deeply loved. These emotions send a powerful signal to your subconscious that this reality already exists. When you consistently impress this feeling upon your mind, your outer world will begin to shift to match it. One of the most important aspects of visualization is consistency. It's not enough to do it once and then forget about it. Just as a seed needs to be watered regularly to grow, your mental imagery needs repetition to take root in your subconscious. Make it a nightly practice, allowing yourself to fully immerse in the experience of your dream relationship before sleep. Over time, you will begin to notice shifts, subtle changes in your thoughts, emotions, and even the opportunities that come your way. Doubt is the biggest enemy of visualization. Many people try this practice for a few nights and then stop because they don't see immediate results. They let their current reality dictate what they believe is possible, but manifestation does not work that way. Reality is simply a reflection of past thoughts and beliefs, and it takes time for new mental impressions to materialize. Trust that what you are visualizing is real, even if you do not see evidence of it yet. The more you persist in the feeling of having your dream relationship, the sooner it will appear in your life. It is also important to detach from the need for a specific person. If you visualize someone who does not align with the love you truly desire, you may be blocking yourself from receiving something even better. Instead of focusing on a particular individual, focus on the qualities of the relationship you want. Imagine the love, connection, and joy and trust that the right person who embodies these qualities will appear at the perfect time. This practice extends beyond just the night. Throughout your day, carry the feeling of your visualization with you. Walk with the confidence of someone who is already in a loving relationship. Speak, think, and act as if your dream partner is already part of your life. The more you align with this reality internally, the more effortlessly it will manifest externally. The subconscious mind does not distinguish between imagination and reality. It only responds to what you consistently impress upon it. When you make visualization a habit, you are training your mind to accept love as inevitable, and soon the world will reflect that truth back to you. If your current reality does not reflect the love you desire, do not be discouraged. The physical world is simply a delayed reflection of past thoughts and beliefs. Persist in the new assumption, and reality must conform. Many people allow what they currently see and experience to dictate what they believe is possible. If they do not have the relationship they desire, they assume love is out of reach. If they have faced rejection or heartbreak, they believe that history will repeat itself. They let their past experiences and present circumstances define their future. But reality does not work that way. The world you see around you is not fixed. It is a product of your past assumptions, and it can be reshaped the moment you decide to persist in a new belief. The key to manifesting your dream relationship is to remain unshaken by what your senses currently tell you. If you look around and see loneliness, if you feel the absence of love, if you hear the doubts in your mind saying, "It's not happening," do not accept those as truth. Understand that these are simply remnants of old patterns, old thoughts, and old beliefs that have played out in your reality. They are not an indication of what is possible for you. They are only a reflection of what you have previously assumed to be true. The moment you change your assumption and hold on to it with certainty, the external world must shift to match it. There will be moments when it feels like nothing is happening. You may start visualizing your ideal relationship, affirming your worthiness of love, and embodying the energy of someone who is already in a fulfilling partnership. Yet your outer reality may still look unchanged. This is where most people give up. They look at their unchanged circumstances and think, "This isn't working." But in reality, it is working. The shift is already in motion. The unseen forces are already aligning everything perfectly. The only thing that can stop it from manifesting is doubt and impatience. The moment you allow yourself to question, waver, or revert to old patterns of thinking, you disrupt the process. Imagine planting a seed in the ground. You water it daily, giving it the sunlight and nourishment it needs. But after a few days, if you see no signs of growth, would you dig it up and assume it's not working? Of course not. You trust that beneath the surface, the seed is sprouting, developing roots, and preparing to break through the soil. The same is true for your manifestations. Just because you do not see immediate results does not mean the process is not unfolding. Your only job is to persist, to keep nurturing the belief that love is already yours, even when external evidence suggests otherwise. To persist in your assumption, you must live as though it is already true. If you truly believed your dream relationship was inevitable, how would you think, feel, and act? Would you feel anxious or desperate, wondering when it will happen? Or would you feel at peace, knowing that love is already on its way? The way you carry yourself in the present moment determines how quickly your reality shifts. Walk with the confidence of someone who is deeply loved. Speak as though love is already a part of your life. Refuse to entertain thoughts of doubt, loneliness, or unworthiness. The more unwavering you are in your belief, the faster it will manifest. Reality will test you. There may be moments when things appear to be going in the opposite direction, when old patterns resurface, or when nothing seems to be changing. These are not signs of failure. They are opportunities to prove that you will not waver. When faced with these moments, reaffirm your truth. I am already in the loving relationship I desire. It is unfolding perfectly. Nothing can shake my belief. Well, this unwavering faith is what bends reality in your favor. Your dream relationship is already a reality in the unseen. The only reason it has not fully materialized yet is because reality takes time to catch up with belief. If you hold on to the assumption, no matter what, the world must conform, there is no other outcome. What you believe with absolute certainty must become your experience. Persist, and love will be yours. The moment you truly accept your desire as already fulfilled, unseen forces begin to align in your favor. People, circumstances, and opportunities will shift effortlessly. Walk in the conviction that your dream relationship is already yours, and soon the world will mirror that truth back to you. Most people believe that they must take endless action to bring love into their lives. They think they need to search, chase, or force relationships to happen. They spend hours swiping on dating apps, analyzing every interaction, and obsessing over when and where they will meet the right person. But love does not come through force. It flows naturally when you align with it. When you fully accept that your dream relationship already exists, you no longer need to struggle to make it happen. Instead, you allow it to unfold effortlessly, just as the river does not push against the current, but follows its natural course. Accepting your desire as already fulfilled means shifting from a state of seeking to a state of knowing. Instead of constantly looking for signs or asking when love will come, you operate with the inner certainty that it is already done. This shift in mindset is subtle but powerful. When you no longer question whether love is on its way, you remove all resistance. Your energy changes, and you become a magnet for the relationship you desire. It is no longer something you hope for. It is something you expect with absolute confidence. When you truly walk in this conviction, your external world begins to rearrange itself to match your new belief. You will notice unexpected synchronicities. Perhaps you will meet someone at the perfect moment, reconnect with a person from your past in a new way, or find yourself in situations that bring you closer to love. These are not coincidences. They are the natural outcome of your internal shift. The universe is always responding to your dominant state of being. When you embody the energy of someone who is already loved, reality will reflect that truth back to you. Fear and doubt are the only things that can interfere with this process. Many people begin to shift their mindset, but the moment they do not see immediate results, they start questioning whether it is working. They look for external proof instead of trusting the unseen forces at work. But the key to manifestation is believing before seeing. If you need to see evidence before you believe, then you are still living in a state of doubt. You must reverse this approach and trust that the evidence will come after you have fully accepted your desire as real. This trust is not passive. It requires complete embodiment of your new reality. If you knew with absolute certainty that your dream relationship was already yours, how would you feel? You would feel at peace. You would feel joy. You would wake up every day with gratitude, knowing that love is already woven into your life. You would move through your days with confidence, no longer feeling the need to search or chase. You would radiate an energy of fulfillment, and that energy would naturally draw love to you. Your words and thoughts must also reflect this certainty. If you find yourself saying things like, "I hope I find love," or "I wonder when it will happen," you are still operating from a place of separation. Replace those statements with, "Love is already mine, and my dream relationship is unfolding perfectly." Speak and think as if your desire is already a reality, and soon it will be. Taking inspired action is a natural result of this alignment. When you truly know that love is yours, you will feel guided to take actions that match this belief. You might feel inspired to go to a certain place, start a new hobby, or say yes to an unexpected opportunity. These actions will not feel forced or desperate. They will feel effortless because they are in harmony with your internal state. You will not need to chase love. You will simply be led to it. When you walk in the conviction that your dream relationship is already yours, you no longer feel anxious, impatient, or doubtful. You release all resistance, and in doing so, you create the perfect conditions for love to enter your life effortlessly. The universe does not respond to desperation. It responds to certainty. The moment you fully accept that what you want is already yours, the world has no choice but to bring it to you. Love is not something you chase, force, or wait for. It is something you align with. Your dream relationship is already yours the moment you decide to claim it in your mind and heart. When you see yourself as already loved, when you reprogram your beliefs about love, when you release control and embody the energy of the love you desire, the universe has no choice but to reflect that reality back to you. No matter what your past experiences have been, no matter what your current circumstances look like, they hold no power over your future unless you allow them to. The only thing that matters is the assumption you hold right now. If you persist in the belief that love is inevitable for you, if you refuse to be shaken by temporary appearances, if you trust that the unseen is working in your favor, then your dream relationship must materialize in perfect timing. You do not need to seek love. It will find you when you become the version of yourself that already has it. Live in the end result. Feel it as real. Walk in confidence knowing that love is already yours. The universe is always listening, always responding, always shaping itself according to your deepest assumptions. So assume the best. Assume that you are loved, cherished, and deeply valued. Assume that the person you desire is already on their way to you. Assume that love flows to you effortlessly and abundantly. And soon you will wake up one day and realize that the love you once imagined, the relationship you once dreamed of, has become your reality. Because once you believe it, once you feel it, once you accept it as already done, the world has no choice but to give it to you. There is a divine law that governs creation, and there is a sacred promise that assures fulfillment. The law is unchanging, precise, and ever-present, while the promise is the unfolding of your true divine nature. To understand these is to hold the key to life itself, to create, to manifest, and to awaken to your highest potential. When you align yourself with these truths, you will walk in faith, knowing that everything is already yours. The law is absolute. It is unwavering, impartial, and ever at work, whether you are conscious of it or not. Just as the law of gravity does not change based on belief, so too does the law that governs creation. It is written that as a man thinketh in his heart, so is he. This is not merely poetic wisdom. It is a statement of divine law. Whatever you accept as true in the depths of your being must externalize itself in the world around you. Your assumptions, whether made consciously or unconsciously, shape the circumstances of your life. There is no force outside of you determining your fate. It is your own inner world that dictates the conditions of your experience. If you look at your life and find things you do not desire, understand that they did not arrive by chance. They are the manifestations of past assumptions, past beliefs, and past emotional states. The law does not discriminate. It simply takes the feeling you dwell in and crystallizes it into form. Many fail to realize this and believe themselves to be victims of an unpredictable world. But there are no accidents in a universe governed by divine law. Everything follows a perfect order, though to the unaware it may seem like chaos. The moment you accept this truth, you step into the role you are always meant to play, the conscious creator of your reality. To change your life, you must first change your beliefs. The law cannot bring you what you do not first assume to be yours. If you persist in the assumption that you are abundant, abundance must find its way to you. If you dwell in lack, lack will follow you as surely as night follows day. This is why it is written, "Ask, believing you have received, and it shall be given unto you." The world does not respond to your wishes or empty words. It responds to the conviction of your inner state. What you assume to be true, with feeling, with persistence, becomes your reality, whether you acknowledge it or not. You are always using this law. The question is, are you using it consciously, or are you allowing unconscious fears and doubts to dictate your world? Take control of the law by first taking control of your inner world. No longer allow fleeting emotions, circumstances, or the opinions of others to dictate what you believe about yourself. Stand firm in the assumption of your desired state, and know that it must come to pass. The law cannot fail, for it is God's perfect order in motion. The moment you fully accept this, you will understand that the power to create has always been within you. You are the operant power. The world does not move unless you first move within. Nothing happens to you by accident. All things are drawn to you by the state of your consciousness. Your thoughts, your assumptions, your deeply held beliefs, these are the forces that shape your reality. Most people go through life believing themselves to be at the mercy of circumstances, victims of chance or fate, never realizing that it is their own consciousness projecting outward and arranging the events they experience. You have been given dominion. But this dominion is not over others or the external world. It is over yourself, over the ideas you choose to accept and embody. In order to feel safe again, you must exist within a balance, and this balance is not over poverty, but over independence. If you desire change, it must begin within. It is not enough to wish for something. You must assume it as true. The world only reflects back to you the state you consistently dwell in. If you persist in the assumption that you are unworthy, overlooked, or struggling, the world will only reinforce that belief, bringing forth experiences that confirm it. But the moment you shift your assumption, the moment you truly embody the state of being successful, loved, and abundant, the world must rearrange itself to reflect your new belief. This is the law in action. It is unerring, exact, and without exception. Imagination is your greatest tool. It is not just a place of idle daydreams. It is the workshop of creation. When you close your eyes and see yourself as you wish to be, when you feel it as real, you are impressing upon the unseen substance that forms reality. The key is to persist in this feeling, to make it your dwelling place, so that it becomes more real to you than your current circumstances. That it finally becomes, quite a realism. For do not wait for proof in the outer world before you believe. Believe first, and the proof will follow. Reality is not fixed. It is fluid, shaped by the convictions of those who dare to assume greater for themselves. Every great achievement in history began with someone who had the courage to believe in the unseen. The inventors, the pioneers, the visionaries, all of them first saw their success within before it ever took form in the outer world. They refused to accept the limitations of their present reality and instead held steadfast to the vision of what could be. This same power is available to you at this very moment. It does not belong to a select few. It is the birthright of every person who understands and applies it. Doubt is the greatest enemy of creation. It is the force that causes people to abandon their dreams, to give up before their desires have had a chance to take root. If you plant a seed and then constantly dig it up to check if it is growing, you will never see the harvest. The same principle applies to your desires. Once you have assumed them as true, you must persist in that assumption, regardless of what the outer world appears to show. Do not let temporary appearances deceive you. The world you see is simply a reflection of past thoughts and beliefs. It has no power to dictate your future unless you allow it to. Your feelings are the signal that determines what you attract. If you constantly dwell in worry, fear, or lack, you are sending out a request for more of the same. But if you consciously shift your state, if you choose to feel abundant, successful, and loved now, before any visible change has occurred, you activate the forces that will bring that reality into being. Your work is not to struggle or force things to happen. Your work is to align your inner state with what you wish to experience. Once you have done this, the law takes care of the rest. Everything you need is already within you. The power to transform your life, to step into a new reality, is not something you must seek outside of yourself. It has been given to you from the beginning, waiting only for your recognition and use. You are always creating, whether you are aware of it or not. The question is, are you creating deliberately, with purpose and intention, or are you allowing old fears, doubts, and unconscious patterns to dictate your experience? The moment you take responsibility for your inner world, you take control of your destiny. The world cannot help but respond, for it has always been nothing more than a mirror, reflecting back the state. Faith activates the law. It is not enough to know the principles of creation. You must trust them completely. Faith is the bridge between the invisible and the visible, the force that turns an idea into reality. Without faith, the law remains dormant, waiting for you to command it into motion. When you truly believe, when you are fully convinced that what you desire is already yours, you awaken the unseen forces that make it so. This is why it is written that faith is the substance of things hoped for, the evidence of things not seen. The unseen does not mean the non-existent. It simply means that it has not yet materialized in your external world. But the moment you accept something as true in your imagination, it has already begun to take form. Many misunderstand faith, believing it to be a passive hope, a wishful longing for something to happen. But faith is not hoping, it is knowing. It is an unshakable conviction that what you have imagined is as real as the air you breathe, even if your senses tell you otherwise. The greatest mistake people make is looking to the outer world for validation before they believe. They wait for signs, for proof, for circumstances to change before they allow themselves to feel the reality of their desires. But this is not how the law works. The outer world is a reflection, a mere echo of your inner state. If you wait for something to change before you believe in it, you will wait forever. You must believe first, and the world will follow. To activate the law, you must embody the feeling of your wish fulfilled. This is the secret hidden in plain sight, the key that unlocks all doors. Whatever you want, you must feel as though you already have it. If you desire love, you must feel love now. If you desire abundance, you must feel wealthy now. If you desire success, you must carry yourself as someone who has already succeeded. This is not pretending or deceiving yourself. It is aligning your inner world with the reality you wish to create. The law does not bring you what you want. It brings you what you are. And what you are is determined by the feelings and beliefs you dwell in every day. Doubt is the enemy of faith. The moment you entertain thoughts of uncertainty, you disrupt the process. It is like planting a seed and then digging it up every day to check if it is growing. The seed needs time to take root, to grow beneath the surface before it becomes visible. Likewise, your desires are already in motion the moment you claim them as true. But if you constantly question, worry, or look for external proof, you weaken the process. You must hold firm, even in the face of seeming opposition. The world may not immediately reflect your assumption, but that does not mean the law is not working. It is always working, always responding, always molding itself to your dominant state of being. Faith is not blind. It is the deepest understanding of how creation operates. It is the certainty that the unseen is more real than the seen, that your inner world is the blueprint for everything that manifests in your life. When you truly grasp this, you no longer chase after things in the external world. You no longer beg, plead, or struggle to make things happen. Instead, you rest in the knowing that everything is already done. You walk in confidence, unshaken by appearances, because you understand that what is seen is only a delayed reflection of what has already been established in the unseen. This is why those who master faith move through life with an air of certainty. They do not react to circumstances, they command them. They do not allow fear or doubt to take root, they replace them with unwavering belief. They know that the moment they assume something to be true, the universe begins to rearrange itself to make it so. And because they remain faithful to that assumption, they always receive what they expect. Faith is the activator, the power that turns thoughts into things. It is not a question of whether the law will work. It is only a question of whether you will trust it enough to let it. Your inner world determines your outer world. Everything you see, experience, and encounter in life is a direct reflection of your inner state of being. The circumstances of your life are not random, nor are they dictated by luck or faith. They are the outpicturing of the beliefs, assumptions, and feelings you hold within. This truth is both empowering and humbling, for it places the responsibility for your life squarely in your own hands. If you wish to change your external reality, you must first change what you hold to be true within yourself. Most people live in reaction to the world, believing that they must respond to circumstances as they arise. They see something they do not like and allow themselves to feel defeated. They experience lack and allow themselves to feel unworthy. But they fail to realize that they are not merely observers of reality, they are creators of it. The world is not happening to them, it is happening through them. Every event, every experience, and every person who enters their life is a reflection of the dominant thoughts and emotions they have nurtured. The outer world is like a mirror, faithfully reflecting back whatever is impressed upon it. If you stand before a mirror and frown, the reflection does not smile back at you. It simply returns what it is given. Likewise, life does not bring you what you want, it brings you what you are internally. If you believe yourself to be unworthy of love, no matter how much you desire a loving relationship, you will continue to experience rejection or disappointment. If you see yourself as struggling, no matter how hard you work, you will find that success seems to elude you. Your assumptions shape your experience, and the world has no choice but to comply. It is not that the world is against you. It is that it has no independent power of its own. It simply reflects back what you project onto it. This is why two people can live in the same world, yet experience completely different realities. One sees opportunities everywhere, while another sees only obstacles. One attracts wealth effortlessly, while another constantly fights financial hardship. The difference is not in external circumstances, but in internal conditions. The great secret to transforming your life is understanding that your imagination is the source of all creation. If you want to see change, you must first create it within. Begin by shifting your assumptions about yourself and the world around you. Instead of assuming struggle, assume ease. Instead of assuming rejection, assume acceptance. Instead of assuming failure, assume success. These assumptions, if persisted in, will harden into fact. It is not enough to merely say you want something. You must feel it as real. The emotions you attach to your thoughts give them power. If you constantly affirm abundance but feel lack, it is the feeling that will manifest. If you say you believe in love but carry the fear of rejection, it is the fear that will dictate your experience. The key to mastery is to align your feelings with your desired state. This means living from the in, feeling as though you already have what you seek. If you want peace, feel peaceful now. If you want success, walk as though success is already yours. If you want love, radiate the feeling of being deeply cherished. Do not wait for circumstances to change before you feel differently. Change how you feel first, then the circumstances will follow. You go? Inner peace, cerebral. The world is a secondary effect, a mere shadow cast by your inner convictions. It is powerless to be anything other than what you impress upon it. Many people believe that change requires force, effort, and struggle. They believe they must fight against the world to get what they want. But true change happens effortlessly when you shift your inner world. Just as a seed grows naturally once it is planted in fertile soil, so too do your desires take root and manifest when you cultivate the right inner environment. The only real work is the work of assumption, choosing to dwell in the state of your wish fulfilled and refusing to entertain thoughts that contradict it. If you can master your inner world, the outer world will have no choice but to conform. This is not a possibility, it is a law, unerring and absolute. God's promise is your awakening. Beyond the law of creation lies something far greater, the ultimate realization of who you truly are. The law allows you to shape your reality, to mold your life according to your assumptions. But the promise is the unfolding of your divine nature. You are not merely here to manifest things, to acquire wealth, success, or relationships. These are temporary experiences, fleeting moments within the grand design. The real purpose of life is to awaken to the truth that you and the Creator are one. This is the promise, the divine inheritance waiting for you to claim it. From the moment you became aware of yourself, you have been on a journey of remembrance. The struggles, the triumphs, the desires, and the challenges. All of it has been orchestrated to lead you to one ultimate realization, that you are not separate from the source of all creation. Every great spiritual teaching points to this truth in different ways, yet the message remains the same. The kingdom of God is within you. The power you seek outside has always been inside. The fulfillment you chase in the world is already yours, waiting for you to recognize it. The promise is not something to be earned. It is something to be remembered. Life presents you with desires, not merely so you can attain them, but so you can learn to trust the unseen power within you. Every desire is an invitation to step into faith, to recognize that what you seek is already provided. When you master the law, you begin to see that nothing is withheld from you. What you assume, you receive. What you persist in believing, you experience. But then something greater happens. You realize that you are not just the one who desires, but the one who creates. You are not separate from the power that fulfills. In that moment, the promise begins to unfold. There comes a time when material success no longer satisfies, when even the most extraordinary manifestations feel incomplete. This is the call of the promise, the divine whisper urging you to look beyond the physical and recognize the infinite nature of your being. The promise is not about receiving something new. It is about awakening to what has always been. It is the realization that you are not a limited human struggling through life, but a divine being experiencing itself through human form. The moment this realization dawns upon you, everything changes. Fear dissolves, doubt disappears, and the need to control fades. You begin to walk with a quiet confidence, knowing that all is already accomplished. The promise unfolds in divine timing. You cannot force it, nor can you miss it. It is not something you achieve through effort, but something that is revealed as you grow in awareness. Every moment of struggle, every doubt, and every seeming failure is leading you toward it. Even when you feel lost, even when you question everything, the promise is working within you, guiding you toward the realization of your true self. The promise is working within you, guiding you toward the realization of your true self. This is why faith is so important, not just faith in the law, but faith in the divine plan that is always unfolding perfectly. You are not forgotten. You are not wandering aimlessly. Everything you have experienced, every challenge and every success, has been part of the journey leading you to the truth. When the promise is revealed, life takes on a new meaning. You no longer chase after things because you understand that all things are already within you. You no longer fear loss because you know that nothing real can ever be taken away. You no longer seek external validation because you recognize that you are complete. The fulfillment you once searched for in the world now radiates from within. You walk in the knowing that you are one with the Creator, that your life is not separate from divine will, but an expression of it. This is the greatest gift, the highest realization, the true purpose of your existence. It has always been yours. It only waited for you to see it. Live as though it is already done. This is the key to turning desire into reality, the bridge between imagination and fulfillment. Most people wait for external proof before they believe, but that is not how creation works. The unseen precedes the seen. The feeling comes before the manifestation. To bring anything into existence, you must first accept it as true internally, and then walk in that conviction as though it were already a fact. You read, the world only reflects your state of being, and if you continue to dwell in the state of waiting, of hoping, or of longing, you will remain in that state indefinitely. Instead, you must move with the confidence that what you have imagined is already yours, and the outer world will have no choice but to conform. There is no power in merely wanting something. Wanting implies that you do not yet have it, and by holding on to that feeling of lack, you only perpetuate the absence of what you seek. The secret is to embody the state of the wish fulfilled, to live from the end, to carry yourself as the person who already possesses what you desire. This is not about pretending or deceiving yourself. It is about shifting your inner world so completely that the external world must align with it. When you accept something as real, when you feel it as true, you send out a command to the unseen forces of creation, and they begin working to bring your assumption into tangible form. Doubt is the greatest obstacle to this process. The moment you begin to question whether it is really possible, whether you are truly capable, or whether circumstances will allow it, you weaken your assumption. You must not entertain these thoughts. They are illusions, distractions meant to pull you back into the limited way of thinking that keeps people trapped in cycles of failure and frustration. Instead, persist in your assumption. Even if nothing in your current reality reflects your desire, hold fast to the conviction that it is already done. The world you see now is simply a reflection of past beliefs, and just as the past created the present is shaping the future. Change your assumption now, and your future must transform accordingly. Many people believe that physical action is the most important part of achieving a goal, but action taken from a state of doubt is powerless. Effort alone does not create, belief does. When you act from the conviction that something is already yours, your actions become effortless, inspired, and perfectly timed. You do not struggle or force things to happen. You simply move in alignment with the reality you have already accepted. Opportunities seem to arise at the right moment. People come into your life to help you, and circumstances shift in ways you never could have predicted. This is the power of living in the end. When you trust fully in your assumption, you do not chase what you desire, it comes to you. The world may try to convince you otherwise. It may present you with obstacles, delays, or temporary appearances that seem to contradict your assumption. But you must remain steadfast. The external world is always the last to change, and it will test your commitment to your belief. Those who succeed are those who persist, who refuse to be swayed by appearances, who continue to dwell in the state of their fulfilled desire, regardless of what their senses tell them. The world cannot resist a mind that is unwavering in its conviction. Everything you desire already exists in the unseen. The only thing separating you from it is your assumption. The moment you accept it as true, the moment you feel it as real, the process of manifestation begins. There is no need to force or struggle. Simply live as though it is already done, and watch as the world rearranges itself to reflect your new reality. This is not wishful thinking. This is the law in action. You are always creating, always shaping your world through your inner state. The only question is whether you will choose to create deliberately, to assume the highest for yourself, and to walk in the certainty that all you desire is already yours. God's will is always fulfillment. There's never been a moment when you were meant to live in lack, struggle, or despair. These are conditions created by the mind, not decreed by the divine. The very essence of creation is abundance, harmony, and completeness. Look at nature. Every tree, every ocean, every star in the sky speaks of boundless provision. There is no hesitation in the unfolding of life, no lack in the divine design. The same is true for you. You were never meant to suffer, to beg, or to feel unworthy of your desires. What you seek is seeking you, for it was placed within your heart as a divine calling, a reminder of what is already yours. The Creator does not place desires within you as a form of torment, teasing you with visions of a life you cannot have. That would be cruelty, and God is not cruel. Every desire you hold is an echo of the infinite possibilities available to you. The problem is not that your desires are out of reach. It is that you have been conditioned to believe you must struggle for them, that they are difficult to attain, that you are unworthy of them. But none of that is true. The only requirement for receiving is believing. You must accept that it is already done, that it is already yours, and allow yourself to step into that reality without resistance. Many have been taught to believe that they must prove themselves before they are worthy of receiving, that they must suffer before they can be blessed. But this is a misunderstanding of divine law. You are not here to earn favor. You are already favored. You do not need to beg for what has already been freely given. The moment you recognize this truth, the struggle ceases, the effort stops. You no longer see yourself as separate from your desires, but one with them. You no longer chase after fulfillment. It flows to you effortlessly, for it was always meant to. The only thing that stands between you and your desires is your own belief in separation. If you see yourself as struggling, you will continue to struggle. If you see yourself as unworthy, the world will reflect that belief. For the moment you shift your perception, the moment you accept that God's will for you is fulfillment, everything changes. The walls that once seemed immovable crumble. The barriers that once held you back dissolve. The doors that once seemed closed swing open. It is not because the world has changed. It is because you have changed. Creation follows the path of least resistance. Just as a river does not force its way upstream, life does not have to be a constant battle. When you align with divine will, things unfold with ease. This does not mean you will never face challenges, but it does mean that you will no longer see them as obstacles. You will understand that everything is working in your favor, even the delays, even the moments that seem uncertain. As you're planting the seeds, Many seeds that are already bearing will be open into the right day in a few years. There is never a time when you are off track. Every experience is leading you closer to the realization of who you truly are. Fear is the only thing that blocks you from receiving. It is the belief that something could go wrong, that you could fail, that you could be abandoned or forgotten. But fear is an illusion, a distortion of the truth. The reality is that you are always supported, always guided, always connected to an infinite source of love and provision. The moment you release fear, the moment you trust fully in the process, you make space for your desires to manifest. You stop interfering with the flow. You stop resisting the blessings that were always meant for you. There is no limitation in the divine plan. You were created to thrive, to expand, to experience the fullness of life. Anything that tells you otherwise is not truth, but conditioning. You do not have to accept it. You can choose in this very moment to step into alignment with the highest version of yourself. You can choose to believe that everything is already working out in your favor. You can choose to trust that fulfillment is not something you must earn, but something that is already guaranteed. The only requirement is that you believe it to be so. Everything you want is already yours, but to receive it, you must be confident in that truth. The world does not bring you what you wish for, it brings you what you are convinced of. If you are uncertain, if you hesitate, if you waver between belief and doubt, you delay your own blessings. Confidence is not arrogance. It is the deep knowing that what you seek is already done. It is the unwavering faith that moves mountains, the certainty that bends reality in your favor. When you are truly confident in your assumption, the world must conform. It has no choice, because the law is exact, and it responds to your dominant state of being. Most people fail to receive what they desire because they allow doubt to take root. They affirm their desires one moment and then question them the next. They look for external validation before they believe, waiting for signs, waiting for proof, waiting for circumstances to shift before they fully commit to the feeling of having what they want. But this is the opposite of creation. The world does not change first. You do. Your inner world is the cause, and the outer world is the effect. When you assume something is true, when you live as though it is already yours, it must materialize. This is not a possibility. It is a certainty, an unbreakable law. To embody this confidence, you must discipline your mind. You cannot afford to entertain conflicting thoughts. The moment you decide that something is yours, you must refuse to acknowledge any reality that contradicts it. This is not denial, it is mastery. It is choosing to dwell only in the state that aligns with your desire. If you desire wealth, you do not allow thoughts of lack to linger. If you desire love, you do not dwell in feelings of loneliness. So, if you desire success, you do not permit failure to occupy your imagination. You become unwavering, immovable, certain beyond all doubt, and when you hold this state consistently, the world will rearrange itself to reflect your conviction. Time is irrelevant to the one who truly believes. The impatient mind constantly looks for progress, wondering when things will happen, questioning whether the process is working. But impatience is a sign of doubt, and doubt is the only thing that blocks manifestation. The one who is confident does not concern themselves with time. They do not need to see evidence because they already know it is done. They do not worry about when or how. It is irrelevant. They walk as if they already have it. They speak as if it is already theirs. They feel as if they are already living in that reality. And because they have claimed it internally, it must appear externally. There is no effort in true belief. Struggle only exists when you have not fully accepted something as real. If you are trying to convince yourself, if you are forcing yourself to believe, then you are still uncertain. True confidence requires no effort because it is already settled in your mind. When you trust gravity, you do not wake up every morning wondering if it will work today. You simply, this is the level of certainty you must cultivate in your desires. They are not something you are trying to achieve. They are already accomplished. The world simply has to catch up to what you have already accepted. Doubt is the only enemy, and it comes in many forms. It may disguise itself as logic, as caution, as realism. It may whisper that you are being unreasonable, that you are setting yourself up for disappointment, that things do not happen so easily. But all of this is an illusion, a test to see if you will hold firm in your belief. The ones who receive are the ones who refuse to be moved by appearances, who do not let circumstances dictate their state of being. They remain confident, certain, unshaken. They know that what they have claimed internally must manifest externally, and they do not waver in that knowing. You must assume your desire so fully that there is no room for contradiction. It must become your dominant reality, more real to you than anything your senses perceive. The world outside may tell you otherwise, but you do not listen. You walk by faith, not by sight. You do not beg for what is already yours. You do not seek reassurance from the outside world. You simply embody the truths that it is done. And when you do this, when you refuse to entertain doubt, when you hold your assumption with absolute certainty, everything you desire will appear effortlessly, as though it was always meant to be, because it was. The law of God is absolute, and His promise is unwavering. You were never meant to struggle, to live in lack, or to question your worthiness. Everything you desire has already been given. It is simply waiting for you to claim it with confidence. The only thing that stands between you and the fulfillment of your dreams is your own belief. When you assume the state of already having what you desire, the world has no choice but to conform. Doubt, fear, and hesitation are illusions that keep you trapped in limitation. But the moment you step into certainty, the moment you fully trust that what you seek is already yours, you activate the divine law that brings it into reality. You do not need to beg, chase, or force anything. You simply need to accept, believe, and allow. Walk in faith, not in fear. Speak only of what you want, not of what you lack. See yourself as already having, not as waiting to receive. God's law is fulfillment, and His promise is that you will always have what you dare to claim as your own. Stand firm, trust completely, and watch as your reality transforms before your eyes.